Attorney Mark Bruner for Talking Texas Law, and today the question is?
So last week we were talking about the range of punishment for misdemeanors. What about felony?
Well, here in Texas, very similar to misdemeanors, the felonies are broken up into several different ranges of punishments. But the main difference between a felony and a misdemeanor is, like we talked about last time, a misdemeanor, the worst case scenario is confinement in a local county jail, where for felonies in Texas, the worst case scenario is confinement either in a state jail facility or prison. Here in Texas, we call prison, we have a code word for it, we call it TDC or TDCJ, short for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. So we may say someone is serving 5 years TDC, that means 5 years in prison. So again, misdemeanors, county jail time, felonies, possible prison time or state jail depending on the offense. So let's talk about some of those punishment ranges for felonies. Here in Texas, basically from bottom to top, we have at the bottom what are called state jail felonies. Higher up is third-degree felonies, second-degree felonies, first-degree felonies, and at the top, what are called capital felonies. Let's talk a little bit about each one. In Texas, starting with the state jail felonies, those are the lowest level of felony offenses. Some years ago, the Texas legislature decided to kind of round up certain non-violent offenses. Some were felonies, some were misdemeanors, and created this state jail felony category. The theory was to have non-violent offenders not spend time in prison mingling with perhaps more violent offenders for some of the higher level offenses. Now that was just the theory. So we've got examples of state jail felonies here in Texas are things such as forgery or possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. Again, some of the lower level felonies, still felonies, but some of the lower level ones. In Texas, for a state jail felony, the range of punishment is anywhere between 180 days in jail in a state jail facility, up to 2 years in state jail, and or a fine of up to $10,000, or up to 5 years probation. So again, those are the state jail felonies. Moving up the punishment ladder, let's look at third-degree felonies. In Texas, a third-degree felony carries a range of punishment between 2 to 10 years in prison, not state jail, but prison, up to a $10,000 fine, and again, up to 10 years probation. Examples of a third-degree felony may be things such as third offense DWI or possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, between 1 to 4 grams. Again, those are examples of third-degree felonies. In Texas, next up on the punishment ladder are second-degree felonies, and the range of punishment there is between 2 to 20 years in prison, again up to 10 years probation, and or a fine of, again, $10,000. Secondary felonies could be something like intoxication, manslaughter, or aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Moving up the punishment ladder one more time, we're talking about first-degree felonies. In Texas, first-degree felonies can carry a range of punishment between 5 to 99 years or life in prison, up to a $10,000 fine, and again, up to a possible 10 years of probation. So the more serious level offenses. Things that could include murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, let's say. Again, some of the more serious offenses. At the very top in Texas are the capital felonies. And here we're really talking about capital murder. Capital murder is, if you're facing that charge, you've got the potential to be sentenced to death. And in Texas, we certainly do recognize and enforce the death penalty regularly. So for a capital murder type offense, even if a defendant is found guilty of a capital murder and does not get the death penalty, they still may be looking at life in prison with no possibility of parole. So that's our highest level offense. Parole, it's interesting to note here, again, for that lowest level of offense, state jail felonies, there is no parole. A sentence to state jail is served day for day. So let's say someone gets 2 years in state jail. That means 2 actual years, day for day. So state jail felonies are a little bit different. The other felonies, third on up, most of them are eligible in certain cases for parole. It's also important to note that there are several other offenses basically scattered around the wider body of the Texas law that don't fall into the main category of just simply felonies or misdemeanors. They may be hidden away in the water code or the government code, many other places. So those are important to know about. Also, very important when discussing felony punishments are enhancements. And we'll talk about this vitally important but kind of complicated topic in another video. As always, this video is being offered for informational and educational purposes only. It's not to be considered a legal consultation, and it is not giving legal advice. And unless you are already a contracted client of mine, I'm not your lawyer. This is Attorney Mark Bruner, and thank you so much for joining me on Talking Texas Law. I'll see y'all next time.